Hello, everybody. Welcome to the bi-weekly Backdrop CMS community meeting. We do this every 2 weeks on Thursdays. Today is Thursday, March 16th, and I'll just introduce myself and then we'll go around and introduce ourselves if we're up to it. So my name is Luke McCormick. I'm a web project manager in San Ramon, California. And I'll throw it to Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg. I'm joining from Melbourne, Australia, sometimes in Greece. I'm interested in general in anything that I can help the community with. I have some capacity. Nothing specific, but lots of activity in the queues. Really excited about it. And I'll pass it on to Robert.
I'm Robert Lang, bug folder on the internet in Altadena, California, working on various odds and ends. Martin.
Hi, I'm Martin, Yorkshire Pudding on the internet, and I'm involved in a number of things, mainly around Contrib and the command line tool B, and looking forward to Backdrop Live, where I'll be leading a few sessions. Go to Gogu.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, my name is Gogo. Just Gogo on the internet. Currently based in West Africa, Nigeria. I am a graphic designer specialized in user interface and user experience. And I am an old face here. I'm just glad to be back. Been away for some time because there was a project I was working on and we were supposed to launch. We're very close to launching, so I have some time on my hand now. That's why I'm here. And I heard we're starting Backdrop Live 24th and 25th of March. I really want to be part of Backdrop Live. I don't want to miss it. That's why I came back. Good to be here.
Great to have you back.
I'll just jump in. My name's Tim Erickson. I'm St. Paul Tim on the internet. I'm in Deerwood, Minnesota today, where we're getting more snow. Doesn't stop. And I just did a nice, I hope was I enjoyed it, a presentation on the Backdrop CMS as an upgrade option for Drupal 7. Andy, are you available to introduce yourself?
Yep, good afternoon, everyone. Andy Shillingford, Doc Wilmot on the issues and the Cayman Islands. Just nice to be here. I'm finally off this week on Thursday for a change. Good to see you guys.
Who hasn't went yet?
Joseph? I think Joseph.
Sorry, I should have passed on to somebody, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Free for all. Somebody get it.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Hi, my name's Joseph. I'm a developer in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I think Sharvashri is the last one.
Yeah, okay. I'm Sarvashri. I'm in Walnut Cove, North Carolina. Mostly just a site builder, not really a developer, but I'm interested in the development of Backdrop CMS and looking forward to the upcoming events. So I'm the last, going back to Tim, I guess.
Sure. Well, I introduced myself already, but I think if we're through, we can go ahead and introduce this discussion. So as Luke and I were talking about right before the meeting, the community meeting is generally intended to be a little bit more focused on a topic of broad appeal to the community. Today, it might be a little bit more insider baseball in terms of getting ready for Backdrop Live. Although we could, I suppose, do that outward part stuff here at the beginning by just describing Backdrop Live. Besides myself, is anybody else prepared to give a quick, just 2-minute pitch? What is Backdrop Live and why people should come?
happily have a go at that. Feel free to chip in, anyone. Backdrop Live is what's known as an unconference, which means that the schedule's not decided by the audience, it's decided by you. Whoever comes to the event can say, I'd like to talk about this, and we can have a conversation about it. So you never really know what you're going to get. We normally have a mixture of sort of beginner topics, more advanced topics, and developer topics. From the last time, we had a dedicated block for beginners where we just go over some of the fundamentals, which Tim's just sharing there, such as content types, views, and layouts to help people just get up to speed and get the hang of the basics. And then we have more sort of deep dive. We like to people like to share what they've been doing, and so yeah, we've got a one that Justin's leading, which is on decoupled blocks, which sounds very complex. So some interesting. Luke's trying to stir up trouble with why WordPress is better than Backdrop. So we've got a whole mix, and if you want to talk about anything related to Backdrop, if there's something that you've always wanted to know but you haven't been able to ask, then here is the place. You can have a conversation. If you suggest a conversation, then we'll try and have a conversation about it, and fit it in. It's normally a really good time. People come away learning lots and finding out more about things that they and seeing what other people are doing with Backdrop. So it's well worth coming if you're interested in Backdrop at all.
It's worth mentioning that it's a free-for-all event. We accept donations, but they're not necessary. So come join.
Yeah. We encourage donations, but they're not required.
Yes.
I want to just quickly point out, because we should talk quickly about this, that one of the ways that Backdrop Live, as Martin said, anybody can just put a topic on the schedule. Diane has been an active member of our community. She showed up at office hours yesterday with a whole bunch of questions about UberCart, and no UberCart experts available in the room. And we encouraged her to do what she has done before at previous Backdrop Lives, which is to put it on the agenda. She's coming to the meeting with very specific examples and very specific questions. She's not coming as an expert that's going to teach us all about UberCart. She's come as somebody that has, again, questions, and hopefully, and usually it is the case that other people are able to join. Now, I know that, like our Robert, I think you said you're not available, right? Or did you not say you're muted?
I might be able to slip away for that.
Okay.
So I was just putting it on my calendar.
What I told Diane too, because if somebody like you who knows a lot about UberCart is not available in this slot, we could move this. She said she's flexible anytime on Friday. So if you want to suggest a different time slot on Friday, do that. Otherwise, I know Diane would appreciate it. I think we have enough people in the community, though, that even if you're not able to be there, hopefully other people will be able to help her.
Yeah, I think if you get either RG Piano or Larry, they can.
Right. Yeah, I don't know about Larry, and I think RG Piano is also not available this Backdrop Live.
She's on the road.
Yeah, but there's RG Piano, there's Steve Morehouse, there's a few people. I think Martin, you have some.
Yeah.
Don't you have some?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Before we scroll away from Block B, I wanted to, is the order there between slot 5 and slot 6? I thought views went between content types and layouts, like when we did last time.
If that's what we did last time, we can switch it. I think I was hastily putting things together and didn't. So I will say we don't officially have presenters for any of these three things, but we had And I would encourage those of you who did it last time, if you're able to do it again. I think we have people that can easily step in and do these sessions if we need to, and I'm willing to do it. Do one of them if we don't get anyone else. So
Yeah, I was paying attention to that because I was planning to reprise my presentation on views.
okay,
And specifically, I wanted to sync with whoever's doing the other two to sort of make it be a continuous flow to the extent that we can.
okay. Well, we could talk about that. So again, for today's committee meeting, we're going to go ahead and get a little bit into the nuts and bolts of planning this. So we could talk about setting up a time to coordinate that, or we could do a little bit of that right now. Do people agree, or is that what you're suggesting? Is that views should be the middle one?
That and also the synchronization thing, I think is something that we talked about last time.
Right. Do you have any suggestions on how to do that between now and next Friday?
Maybe sharing some bits of code so that it's like the bakers, sharing the design so that we have, a consistent same content types, same view names, and then, we can pre-bake it so that it's ready to go for each of the stages.
Or use the same sandbox instance, the same demo instance.
Sure.
Yeah.
And right. Yes, that would be one thing you certainly could do leave it up to you guys. So I think the three people were, if I remember right, Luke, Laren, and you, Greg, that did these three last time?
Yeah, this time I think I'm only because the company that I work for does a getaway during that weekend, and I'm not sure I'm going to have internet access. If I have access, and the rest of the people, because these activities are asleep at night and I am not, yes, I would be glad to do it. As it is currently, I'm going to try my best to only make it to the slot for the D7 soft landing.
Sure.
And that might even mean that I have, if the weather permits, I'll have to just climb a small hill or something. Yeah. So I don't know what the internet.
I don't think we want to count on you for that session. We should have somebody else for the backdrop for beginners.
No, I want to take part. That's what I'm saying. Yep. So I'm gonna strive to take part. But if I am available, there's internet and which I'll know very last minute, unfortunately. Okay. I'll try my best to facilitate or at least be there to help.
So as I mentioned right before this meeting, the Backdrop CMS has a library of presentations, Backdrop CMS presentation slides. There we go. That some people may not be aware of, and I'm actually thinking about doing a Backdrop session on this. But these are a bunch of demos that anybody could use, and you can literally just click on one of these and run the slideshow, right from the web page without doing anything. I'm thinking about showing people how they can download these and modify them if they want. But my point is, should we have versions of these, community versions of these that we use for that we can use for Backdrop Live, so that anybody can step in and run these three presentations. I think last time each of you just built your own slide deck and maybe did it in different ways.
I think that last time, I can't recall, but I think I might have just winged it. Like I started, maybe if it was content types, I started explaining what content types are, how they work, give examples. And because I do trainings very often for GovCMS, I just had things in my head. So I just went over that. But another person may need more structured. So
right. Well, exactly. I'm fine with the winging it, but if we want to have something that anybody can step in and do, having at least a minimal structure of slides that we could share would be helpful. I think it would be easier to get presenters if they had a slide deck that they could sort of jump in and use, rather than having to either come up with their own or wing it, both of which some people are less comfortable with. So I don't think we're going to be able to do that before next Friday. So, but I guess what I'm getting at is that if you're working on a presentation this time, at least keep that in the back of your mind is, could I set this up in a way that it could be reused by someone else in the future? And if you can't, don't stress about that. What's important is that you just do the presentation next week and get through it, however works for you. But if you're able to sort of structure it in a way that you can share afterwards, that's
one thing that could help was if we enable the wiki on the actual GitHub repo that holds these, then people, if they have already other slides that are not converted to these kind of slides using Reveal, maybe we could then add pages on the wiki, links to Google Docs, so that we can have a backlog of things that we need to convert into those sort of slides. And I would be like, whenever I have downtime, which is almost never, like I would be able to help convert those. So if you're comfortable in creating slides in another tool, like most people use Google Docs slides or you know, Microsoft PowerPoint, you could share the link somewhere publicly, and then we can start converting them.
great. So somebody else can check. As far as I can tell, the wiki seems to work already. There's just nobody's used it yet. If something has, if I have special permissions and the wiki is not available to someone else, let us know.
Yep.
And we can do that. We also have an issue queue, so we could use the issue queue to talk about improving either the existing slide decks or some new ones to make them available to our team. In general, is this Reveal.js still a legit commonly used tool for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. And it's frequently being updated and new features added and making it easier. The second issue, you can close it because we are moving away from the conservancy, is my understanding. But yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, is it, this is a little bit off topic, but can a lot of places ask you to share your slides afterwards? Do I have, if I use Reveal, is there a way to export like a PDF or something of my slides that someone can post somewhere? Or do I have to post a link to them on GitHub? Doesn't, Jen, you probably run into this, and I see you joined us. Are you available?
It's probably somewhere noisy because it keeps
chatting.
She may not be available. Okay, to talk. Well, answer if you have a minute, Janet, and if you heard the questions. She's never needed a. Well, if doesn't anybody, do you ever share them with like at Bad Camp? Sometimes they'll say share your slides afterwards. You could post a link to them. Anyways, that's something I can look into later. Okay, so on a more general, so that was our quick introduction to Backdrop Live. In terms of the status, so as the guy who usually does all the promotion, my life has been crazy for a while, and I haven't been doing really hardly anything. We only have about 8 people registered. I'm not really panicky about that, although it's not great because we haven't done anything. If we do a push today, and I'm planning to take some time tonight to do some stuff, I think. And one of the things, and yes, Robert, you're still here. Great. For the newsletter, are we ready to send a newsletter out using CiviCRM, or do I have to use the old tool?
We have a group and set it up in City Mail.
Okay.
One I can help you work through that, or if you've done it before, you can just go ahead. CiviCRM is set to send things out.
Well, Jen is suggesting maybe it would be easier to use the old tool still, although she's also impressed that maybe we can do it with CiviCRM. So if we can do it with CiviCRM without too much work, that would be great. I think, again, I don't know what's going to work best, but we should get out a newsletter. We should get it ready tonight and get it out tomorrow. I think if we get it out tomorrow and we do a push, that we're not going to set any records for attendance, but I'm not panicky about it. I know a lot of us that I know are going to go haven't registered yet, so I'm pretty sure we'll get up around 30, 40 people probably pretty quickly. I would have liked to have seen us go beyond that, but we'll see. I did promote it at the Drupal for Gov seminar today. It'll be interesting to see if any of those people show up.
Do we want to have a little mini sprint maybe tomorrow to actually
Yes.
launch
Well,
a thing? I'm happy to watch
Yes.
over your shoulder as you try to send out the emails in Civi CRM, for example, and you know,
yes, that's
be
a
part of
great
that
idea.
experience.
Yes, that's a great idea. Yes, my tomorrow is not looking great. So if other people are able to sprint on stuff, I am going to take some time after these meetings. I know Greg and I, we talked about talking about soft landing today, and we can do that. And then after that, I'm going to launch in to spend at least an hour or two doing PR. So if anybody's available in a couple hours, find me and Zulap or any of us, and we can do a little bit of sprinting on getting some PR. Let's get, if we did, Luke, if you could help us get something on Facebook. We haven't, I know that Martin has done something on LinkedIn, but we should do more. I have hit Mastodon a little bit, which is probably not our best place to be, but it's where I am the most right now. And we've done very, very minimal on Twitter. I'll try to do a little bit on Twitter, as much as I don't like going to Twitter. I think we should at least get a few announcements out there.
Yes, something before I forget it, something that I noticed while you were doing the demo in the presentation that you were doing before. Our dashboard still, like, we have a release for blog post for the release 124. We need to add it to the, I'm not familiar. I know that we have some content types that we add, and I'm sure it's pretty easy, but I've never done it before. So we should add the release blog and the announcement for Backdrop Live into that.
Yes. Yes, we should. And I have been the one that, I think I've done all of the announcements through that so far, but I don't have to be the only one doing that. Anybody that has access, if you've, I think we do want to keep, because of how public that is and sort of how permanent it is. I don't want just anybody doing anything on that, but let's check in. If you're able to add something there, maybe just ping me and let's just make sure we're not duplicating efforts or whatever. I guess a nice thing is that we can add it. If we post something and want to change it, it's easy to edit it or delete it. So yes, LinkedIn did get in the chat where they're talking about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has got a little bit of coverage, but we're going to try and do more.
Yeah.
So
LinkedIn is particularly helpful to have like viral help, to encourage people to like it and repost it and stuff like that.
Yes,
it's very effective. So I'll amplify whatever Martin's doing and try to set that on fire as much as I can.
Sure. Gogo's asking about the design, and let's talk about that in just a minute. But yes, we need to update the dashboard. I've been way behind on that, and we should have at least one other person that's helping me with that. And again, other people, if they just coordinate with me. And I did see the note about that this week in Zulap. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
So let's do a splurge. I think. Go ahead. Who was talking?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Gogu. Yeah, we're using your design, which we really appreciate. So we've done a few little tweaks, but we're still loving your designs. So we've got that. I know there's demand to have different styles of things for different things. So it'd be great to have you back on board and coming up with new ideas for different scenarios.
Do we have an editable file yet? Like what I'd like to be able to do is do promos for specific topics that we're talking about, and to modify the design, with the title of different topics. Can I do that yet, or can Gogo get us?
It depends what you wanted in. I mean, Gogu shared it with me in Affinity Design software, which is a low-cost graphic design package, but I don't know how easy the easiest thing might be if you've got like an SVG editor, and we can share an SVG with you that you can
Okay.
put stuff in. Or I'm not sure. Gogu thought there might be another platform that we could use, but I'm not sure that we.
Did we
actually
talk
got
about like a
set to
Figma
that.
file or something at one point? Hey, he's updating it on Figma. I think you can. There are free Figma editors, aren't there, available? Or is Figma's not open source, is it? Or is it?
It was another. It was acquired by Adobe recently, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if they.
Anyways, I'm pretty sure that I can edit in Figma. But the other thing is, I could just tell you some things I want, Martin, and maybe you could do them for me quick. You know, just do a batch of them, like with each of the topics or something. Another thing about the graphic, though, that I found is it doesn't work on Mastodon very well.
Right.
It crops really weird. They have a different format, I think, than Twitter and Facebook. So
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
again, it's relatively easy just to sort of do slightly different variants if there's a particular shape, then
Right. Okay. We should check on that. That would be helpful. Again, that's where I'm most active right now. I'm most likely to be very active in Mastodon. The nice thing about Mastodon is it's a fresh audience. So we might get some new people. Our Twitter audience is hitting a lot of the same people and probably fewer of them. Yeah.
I do regularly get pleasantly surprised by Backdrop that we get followers of people who I've never come across in our community. So we've got people following us on
Yep.
LinkedIn who were much wider than the Backdrop community, which
Yep.
is good.
Yeah. Well, we know there are people out there using us that that we've never met before, and they show up from time to time. So the trick is to find them. We don't know if they know about Backdrop Live. Getting it on the dashboard, that's going to be an important thing. So, if please, I am really overwhelmed. So I just don't have the time that I usually do to push this. But I'll be working on it tonight. Tomorrow I can try to make some time, but my day is looking pretty bad. Over the weekend I could do stuff too. That's not a great time to be posting on social media, but it might be over the weekend I could sprint and get prepared for next week. Have some stuff ready to go so that we can easily send it out during the week. And I think, we could get a decent turnout. We need to hit up places like the drop times. We need to get it on, I put it on that Drupal website last year, the calendar last time. And I was excited about doing that again early this time, and I never got to it. So let somebody get it on the Drupal calendar. So that's it, just sort of in terms of promotion. Actually, it's just this is a completely side note, but I'm not going to be able to go. I could maybe get the next meeting. I could maybe get it started. One of the things we need to do is get more people trained on board to help with these meetings, to do the video and stuff. Right now, I don't know if anybody in this room right now, other than Jen and I have the ability to start the video, and we need to expand that. Jen, if you're not available to do that for the next meeting, I can probably get the video going, but then actually, you know what? I'll be able to be in the meeting. I'll just have to turn off my mic and stuff. I just got to do some emails. I have some work I have to do at that time. So getting back to this meeting, what else? The content wise, I think our schedule is fleshing out fairly well for Backdrop Live. Thank you, Jen. As some of you noticed, I was a little bit concerned a week and a half ago that we didn't have more topics, but people have been stepping up, getting things on the agenda. I feel like right now, if anybody visited it, they're going to see some stuff. It would still be great to get some more sessions. Again, as we do our publicity slide, unfortunately, a lot of people do still decide whether they're going to participate based on whether or not they see topics in advance that interest them. And, not recognizing that those topics can come up at the last minute. So the sooner we can get a lot of topics on the schedule, the better. Is there anything? Jen, I'm going to pinhole you. Who else that hasn't done? Joseph, if you're able to do anything, I think you've talked about doing something, but you're one who always waits. If we could get something on the schedule, that'd be great.
It's because I always want to go to other people's sections.
I don't know, Joseph, what would you be a candidate for one of our beginner backdrop for beginner sessions?
I could do that. I was kind of planning on going to the other sessions in that block, though.
Okay, well, it seems like a waste of your skills because you have such advanced skills to share that maybe we can get somebody else to fill those spots. So, but please come up with another topic.
Do you think it would be helpful to do something on like caching?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of response I mean, I think that the beginner caching for sure, some of the advanced caching stuff, who knows? I mean, there could be anybody here have a response to that idea. We have this one gentleman who's been joining us recently posted a whole list of topics that he was really interested in. And I don't recall caching being on that, but it's still, if it's something you want to talk about or that's hot on your mind, let's do it. Where's so Ray James, he asked for a workflow showcase, which we actually have something on the schedule. How to search for backdrop. Oh, this is interesting, just sort of how to, I think what he's asking for is how to find solutions to problems like and I think there could be an interesting discussion on that. We have anything theme related. He was really interested in front end stuff, and we don't have much, if anything. I don't think we have anything front end related. Site or project showcase. I think I put that on the schedule. Were you going to say something, Greg?
Yeah, before I forget it, quite a few times you mentioned in the previous presentation, you mentioned backdrop.org. We need to get out of this habit.
Yes, well,
because we don't know where that domain will be linking in the future, and we avoid it. The prices, but yes,
I'm well aware of that problem, and it's not me being lazy and using the short version on purpose.
No, I know.
It's backdropcms.org. My intent is always to use backdropcms.org. I've never intentionally used backdrop.org. So. But yes, we don't have that necessarily available to us. So SEO and backdrop was asked for and has been added. So a number of Ray's suggestions have gotten onto the schedule. Oh, and layouts. Okay, well, we have the intro section on layouts, but Ray James says layouts. I think he's somebody that's been struggling a little bit with layouts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, Jen. Keep correcting me when I miss that. So I'll leave it there. I know some of our presenters can't do it, but for those of you who can, get some topics on the schedule if you're able to. What else about Backdrop Live? Jan, what else have we not, do we normally have to deal with at this stage? I mean, really the big thing, there are little things if you have ideas about social events. We have 2 slots, sort of the end of the event social. I know, Jen, I don't know if didn't we talk about doing like a talent show or something? There was something that came up in the last month or two that was kind of a socially thing. And I remember you saying, we need to do that at Backdrop Live.
We haven't done community spotlights in a while, and I've seen that in Drupal. And it's kind of easy. Like we have a set of questions that we can send to the person that we want to spotlight, and then they can asynchronously answer to those in writing in their own time, and then we convert that to a blog post. So yeah,
Okay, I'm talking about at Backdrop Live, like a social event, something to do.
Oh.
That that idea was excellent, and I've been thinking about that, Greg. I will get. Let's you and I talk about that some more.
sorry, I thought that you were saying in general. I'm phasing out because
No,
I'm working
yeah.
at the same time.
It's okay. For Backdrop Live, we have 1 or 2 time slots set aside just for social events. These are outside of the regular sessions, right? And usually after, at the very last session after Backdrop, we have a block where people tend to just sort of hang out and chat. And we have tried doing some games, board games in that slot, but we've also talked about other things like MidCamp did something once where they said they did a session where they encouraged people to just take their phones and go outside, and then they showed, you know, people could use their phone to show, like, here's where I am. This is my life, and I think that there was. So Jen is saying, I mentioned that maybe it was like a talent show, and I think, oh, it was just things we do that aren't Backdrop, right? That's right. That's where that came up, is we have the thing about Robert, obviously a bug folder, and his origami. That's what I think stimulated this, and then I made some jokes about my other hidden talents, and other people joined in, and it was like we should do a little showcase where. This could be, I mean, one way that something like this is done is lightning, you know, Florida Drupal Camp does a great job of this. They have a lightning talk session where it's like just anything that you're interested in. It could be about Backdrop, but it doesn't have to be. And oftentimes people bring in their hobbies, and they do little lightning talks about their hobbies. Yeah, RG Piano is the pianist. Unfortunately, those are 2 ideas, you know, both Robert and RG Piano, I think, are limited availability. Robert, I don't know if we did this and you're available, you could do a quick, if you'd be up to doing a quick origami thing.
What were
I
you
could show off my
thinking
drone
of as an origami thing?
What?
What were you thinking of as an origami thing?
Well, just show us some of your work. It could be some slides, or it could be that you drop the dragon in 5 minutes live for us. Which I'm saying sarcastically because I assume that's an hour's worth of work.
No, it's more than an hour. It's
Many hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could do a time lapse. You could do it in advance and create a time lapse.
I mean, I do have a short talk about origami that I can give. And in fact, would be happy to, but I wouldn't want it to be recorded.
But you wouldn't want it to be what?
Recorded. Yeah.
That's fair. I don't think we would record these. These would be just for people who were there live. I'm certainly prepared to do one. I could show up my drone photos.
We could combine things. So Robert can be doing a little bit of folding, and then RG Piano playing piano in the background. So
you could accompany me. Yeah. How long were you thinking of this, Tim? Like 10 minutes or a full session?
Well,
seems like a full talk squirt is kind of getting pretty far afield.
No. I'm talking like short segments, like getting, you know, the lightning talk model is 5 minutes each, and you don't have to take that. This shouldn't be anything complicated or big. Yeah, a lightning talent show. It could be Wilbur and I could do a quick juggling routine. You know, that would be 2-3 minutes. So do we have some people who would be game for that? Anybody that would be interested in helping to organize that? It's a way to build community. That's the purpose of this. If it's not clear, is to sort of build community, get to know each other in a less technical, stressful way.
Right. It sounds very interesting, but so many things to do so little time.
Yes. Well, let's keep floating this idea around. If anybody has something that they're willing to do a quick demo of, or give a quick lightning talk about, for, you know, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. If you need a little more time than that, we might squeeze it out. But the idea is for this to be short and to get as many people as possible. And maybe we can even get some people to step up and do it on the spot. We need to seed this with have at least 4 or 5 people that are prepared. When they do this at Florida Drupal Camp, people get up. Some people have come to Florida Drupal Camp with little things prepared. Others just get up and say, "Oh, I could show this." That that I've been working on, or that and they haven't prepared anything, and they just get up and do a quick demonstration. So, okay. Well, we're almost out of time on this. Greg, you
Jen's
wanted,
famous skill is cutting up an avocado, isn't it?
say that again?
Isn't Jen's a famous avocado surgeon, according to her LinkedIn?
I've seen her handiwork. Yep. Jen has a few talents. I'm not going to put her on the spot, but sure. If these they could be a lot of ideas are non-tech related. They could be tech related. Sarvashri is going to do a 5-minute guitar lesson. Okay, I think we've got some momentum here. Folks, get ready. Let's. I'm thinking that time slot. Okay. Jen's got to do some prep work on her avocado, but yeah. Okay, we're almost out of time. Luke, you really wanted to come back, or Greg, you wanted to come back to the Drupal soft landing.
I have a few ideas because the company that I work for has structural allocation for me to be contributing, and so I have some capacity to be contributing to the D7 soft landing. Irina mentioned something about the site audit module. I'm going to go through the queue and see if I can sort of like fix bugs or improve things for especially the D7 version. But at the moment, there's very basic information all in one, like huge chunk of text with multiple to-dos in the actual official initiative page. So we need to do some wordsmithing, some sectioning, and add the section where people, like, I was thinking about resources or contact information, like mention the Drupal.org chat about it. Some guidelines, because we want to mention Backdrop. We don't want to make any page on D.org seem like a shameless, promotion of Backdrop. We want to mention the pros and cons, like in very high level bullet points, and then point to respective resources in Backdrop land. So all these things need a little bit of organizing, and it will help me better, justify the amount of time that I spend on that initiative. If there were separate issues for them in the Drupal.org issue queue for that initiative,
Not on video.
so that I can justify credits or
Let's come back to that. I can talk about that in an hour, Greg. So I can come back, and we had talked a little bit about meeting after the dev meeting. So if you're still available, and if you're not, we will connect whenever we can.
I can make time. I will make time.
Okay, I'll be here. I'll be back in an hour. I'm going to leave for the next meeting. It sounds like Jen can get the video started, and so I don't need to be there. So I'm going to leave. I'll be back. We should wrap up. I tell you what, is there anything else about Backdrop Live for this meeting?
No, I just wanted, because I'm usually you guys set it up, and then I'm just as a recap, we have sort of like mostly streamlined the tasks that we need to do each time that we start a new event, like opening the schedule. Is that all documented and sort of like relatively streamlined so that people can help?
No, it's partially streamlined. I don't know about relatively. I mean, we're always trying to do it better. I'd have to review. Jen has documented some of it,
All right, cool.
and that's always a goal. And we need to find time for that. But okay, this meeting has to end. Next meeting's ready to start. I will see some of you in an hour to talk about Backdrop Drupal 7 soft landing. Thanks everybody.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Yep. Where's the stop?